Greetings, my fellow Our Wonderland enjoyers. My name is Flare Bliss, and we've returned back to Our Wonderland. Arc 2, Gidget, and I've been hinted that the scenes with Gidget this time around might be worse than the first time around, so brace for impact, or not. I'm not sure how long we walk. Already I botched up a sentence. 20 minutes? 30? An hour? Time feels strange. Almost as though it's not passing at all. Almost as if the sun never sets. Yet when I think back to the cottage of discovering that hole in the tree, it already feels like a lifetime ago. And strangely, disconnected? I try to think about my apartment, about work, about the party. They all feel like they don't even exist. Fake. Did any of that really happen? Of course it did. That's my life. That's me. I look down at my hand as though it might reveal an answer to some unspoken question. Your wish. What is your wish, child? And my mind drifts back to that voice in the tree. What do you want, Iggy? I glance over at Genzu, who has his hand shoved in his pockets and his gaze points at his toes. Ah, yes, the embarrassing moments on the ship earlier. What do you wish for more than anything else in the whole world? I bring my hand up to run through my hair. I'll tell you once you've gotten yourself hitched and you've popped out to 2.5. I feel sorry for the half kid and a white picketed fence to corral them. How about that? Then we'll be able to have ourselves a good laugh about it. I shake my head, clear my thoughts, sigh. All of a sudden my footsteps change in timbre. I glance down to see the dirt path has given way to cobblestones. Oh? I stop for a moment studying the new pavement. Did we find the yellow brick road? Nope, we are not in that fairy tale. Genzu takes this opportunity to survey the landscape. Through the foliage veiling the upcoming bend, I spy a splattering of bright colours. Too bright even for the otherworldly trees. There's something there. I expend the energy for a short jog, taking me around the trees and in front of what I can only describe as a gargantuously gigantic, humongous billboard. I stop, take it in, and feel my eyes grow about 5 sizes larger, as if we're looking at a dinner plate that has too much food on it. Yeah, that's gonna be disastrous, isn't it? Jesus. Genzu trots up next to me, equally as stupefied. It's Gidget, only larger than life and wearing little, very little cloth. She's lying on her side, head propped up on her hand, and holding a martini glass in her other. Oh gosh, this is the more alcoholic timeline. She's winking at the camera. At us. Next to her are the words, "Come visit Wonderland's hottest goddess." There will be no cuts involved, in bright purple print. My jaw goes slack. That's a side of Gidget I've never seen before. Genzu's brow reaches for the sky. Hey, Iggy, are you into this sort of thing? You can say that again. Genzu cocks his head to look at me. He chews on the inside of his... Oh, so for once it's Genzu who's chewing... Okay, say nothing more. A gurgle of unease rises up in my bowels as I take in the image in the sign. My stomach twists. I hope we don't get the 5th iteration where there's no clothing. Think about her like this. I shake my head. To say it makes me feel uncomfortable would be an understatement. I am soiling where I'm standing. And no, I am standing on soil, and I'm just sinking further into the soil. Why? What were you thinking? I turn away from the billboard, looking instead, further up the path. It's bordered by other small placards that stick up and out of the ground like signposts. All of them sport Gidget. Some in gorgeous dresses, some in bright summer assembles, some in ridiculous get-ups that look like they've come straight out of a fantasy or horror movie. Alright, so we're in one right now, so not too far from reality in this case. I'm normally all for exploring your passions, but this feels a little excessive. Yeah, you can say that again. She did all this here? No, she did it in her backyard. Genzu, get your head out of the gutter, man. And so we make our way down the Gidget-lined path. Her smile follows us, sometimes sweet, sometimes sultry, and sometimes downright sinful. The sacrifices that Gidget makes in order to achieve greatness. Some Lord Farquaad energy right there. I can't help but feel like every single one of them is aimed straight at me. I wonder why. 20 placards later. I wonder what that is in distance, sorry. Sees us at the entrance to a small village. I survey the quaint white and dark wood cottages with puffing chimneys, the curving cobblestone roads, and vine-dappled walls. I remember this, though not quite as clearly as Bikini Cruise, more like out-of-focus snapshots, vivid images. And ice cream. Somehow I definitely remember eating ice cream here before, and the time before that as well. Could really go for a hot fudge sundae right about now. Genzu scratches at his belly. Yeah, that'd be delicious. Pushing the thoughts of sweets out of my head, I start down the main road. For once, we're not the only ones here. People are milling about, walking from building to building. But none of them so much as glance up as we look around. No, 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 no. All of them are waiting for their eternal goddess to await from her eternal slumbers. Well, to them, it feels like an eternity, but really, when it comes to the amount of time that's passed, it's only been 10 seconds. I round the next corner and stop. A crowd of people has gathered outside one of the more ornate-looking homes. There's a good 15 to 20 of them, and though they whisper among themselves occasionally, their attention seems fixed on the door, or more like the person who lives from the other side of that door. You seen Miss Glamour Shoots yet? Genzu sidles up next to me. No, not yet, but something tells me I'm about to, yet with all these people orbiting around this house like if it's the sun in the solar system. My stomach gurgles. I'm getting that feeling again. Yeah, I'm getting that feeling again as well, but differently. I feel like I'm on the verge of entering deep shite territory. I bring a hand to my belly with a wince. Yeah. Hello there. Good morning, darlings. I turn a voice to see the door open, and with sounds of simps there as well. Gidget has her hand raised above her head to greet the crowd. The previously quiet gathering erupts in cheers and applause. The sinking feeling in my gut forms itself into a 2-ton boulder. Look, we're not trying to pass kidney stones here, and I've heard they are horrifically painful. Thank you so much for seeing me off today. Another shoot, can you believe it? The scouts here just can't keep their eyes off me. She practically dances down the steps, the crowd passing to allow her room. Immediately there's hands reaching out, thrusting papers and books for her to sign, trying to catch a passing torch of her arm or shoulder. We love you, Gidget! Marry me, Gidget! Gidget's mouth curls in an over-exaggerated frown as she waltzes through. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm in quite a rush today. She pauses. Yeah, she's about to perform an incision. But I suppose one or two autographs wouldn't hurt. The crowd goes wild. Oh yeah, I remember there was one person who was murdered because of the fact that she managed to get an autograph. Sorry, they managed to get an autograph while they didn't. The crowd goes wild, fleeing their pens and photos and Anyways, we're moving on. Me first, Gidget. I'm your #1 fan, Gidget. Said by every person who proclaims to be her #1 fan. She turns towards the person standing nearest her. A teenage girl with a bouncy ponytail and decked out in pins, stickers, and accessories, all featuring Gidget's name or face, or an amalgamation of both, perhaps even tattoos. The girl wrings her hand in excitement as Gidget signs her name in her autograph book. And what this parallels in the real world, unfortunately, is that some people have a very, very similar parasocial obsession with a particular person to the point where they get like tattoos, they get photos, they get posters, they get all these kinds of memorabilia and merchandise of that particular character, to a point where their entire room, their entire scope of vision is filled to the brim, to the 100% of only that person. That level of obsession is unhealthy, to say the least. Hey, Gidget. Hello there. Only this time the call comes right next to me and I turn to see Genzu with his hands cupped around his mouth. Genzu, you're very excited because you're not one who is about to be tortured by this one. Hello. Gidget turns, stops, then beams. Guys! She barely has time to return the girl's autograph book before she's dashing towards us. You're here! I can't believe it! Could say the same thing about you. We had no idea who we'd find down here. Except we did, but we're keeping our cards close to our chests, if you know what I mean. Up close, Gidget looks different. Except I can't put my finger on how exactly. Only that her aura feels incredibly intense. You look, great. I finally manage. Gidget beams. Then grows instantly shy. I mean, to have to, keep up my appearances. Who knows? They'd love me down here. It's almost like this is a paradise in which we have created from our wishes. Genzu loops his fingers behind his neck, quiet. You're doing modeling gigs, Ben? I ask somewhat tentatively. Yeah, crazy, huh? She starts and stops, gaze shooting at her watch. Oh crap, that reminds me that I'm already late for my next one. Come down with me. It's just over at the pier in town. Afterward, we could go grab some drinks and at the end. Something along those lines. Catch up. I glance at Genzu, who glances at me. I shrug. Sure, why not? Because what else could I say? I'm saying that we know what's going to happen and we're going to get out of here and go to the next village. Sorry, Gidget, but we're on a time crunch. She grins. Amazing. Come on then, this way. Then starts off down the road, not forgetting to throw a parting wave at the crowd still camped outside the door as she passes. Catch you all later. Genzu scratches his forehead, coughs. She seems strangely non-coherent about all of this. Tell me about it. And I think I pronounced that word wrong as well. We walk after her, and I can't help but notice the aura of the crowd grow dark as we pass. Yes, because she noticed us as senpais. One of the older women even glares at me as I turn my head to look. Well, I'm sorry that we got the limelight of Gidget's attention and you didn't. Just keep walking, yeah. Yeah, just keep walking, nothing to see here. He steps between me and the crowd. What's that phrase? Moving on, people, there's nothing to see here. One hand to my back to keep me moving. I don't need to be told twice, my pace quickening by about a half step. Because that half step is going to be what we need. Gidget leads us down the curved road and past a few more buildings that look just familiar enough to jog my memory. Oh dear. This scene. Past the next bend, the buildings open up to reveal a long cobblestone pier lined with small fishing boats. A team of photographers is already setting up their gear near the water. Gear near. Rear. Beautiful, isn't it? Gidget turns back towards us. The perfect photo shoot. I'm actually surprised I haven't done one here yet. Color me shocked. Genzu squints as he takes in the scenery. Isn't it beautiful? It's like the south of France, with all these small quaint villages and all these dockyards. Gidget's brows furrow for a moment. Then she returns to her cheery self. What was the brow furrowing for? Feel free to look around during the shoot. I don't think it'll be that long. She takes one last look at us, then dashes off towards the crew. Please don't tell me I'm the only one weirded out by this whole thing. Yeah, you and me both. Yeah, it's something else. Something blanked up. Why the hell is she down here playing dress up like this is some kind of game? Well, Genzu, I'm going to have to be the bearer of bad news. You are all in a game. Well, it is what she wanted. Yeah, and I want every day to be $6 buffet night at the Steak and Bake, but you don't see me rushing to bend the rules of time to my will. Am I right? Or am I right? I don't respond. Instead of biting down my lip and watching the crew finish setting up. Okay, I think I keep saying that line too many times. Am I right or am I right? It's just something I saw of Genzu's right at the start of the game. The shoot starts and Gidget is on fire. I've never seen her look so alive, so happy, having the absolute time of her life. Or maybe deep down she is suffering because she couldn't be the coder that she wants to be because you suck, Iggy. They start with a few shots of her back to the boats, then walking along the pier, sitting atop the railing and gazing out across the lake. And a lot of controversy within games really does build up storytelling and tells you as the viewer of the game or the player of the game that the world is not peaceful whatsoever. There are light spots and dark spots. And within those dark spots, you see the worst of people. But in that worst of people, you also sometimes see a facade of happiness, a fake happiness to try and cover up something in which they are desperately trying to hide because they A, either don't want to upset you, or B, they do not want to appear weak. And that is perfectly natural. But despite her constant smile, I can't stop the feeling of unease clawing at my belly. Well, at least you're not chewing on your cheek this time. Why is she here? How can she act like this is normal? Because this is a nice paradise. No sooner has that thought entered my head than Gidget glances up, beams, and begins waving me over. I pause, unsure, point to myself, as though there could be anyone else she's pointed to. You mean the guy at the back there? Yeah, the guy that has all of those stickers and that book that he wants autographed by you. Yeah, is that the guy that you're beaming towards, Gidget? No, wait, you're beaming towards us? Okay. When she nods, I shuffle over awkwardly. She jumps down off the rain at my approach. Join me for a shoot. What? Yeah, come on, just for fun. Her arm sneaks its way around mine, and I feel her tugging me towards the camera. Besides, who wouldn't want to shoot this handsome stud, I throw a look of helplessness back against his faces. Blank. Seems like I'm on my own then. I allow myself to be dragged towards the the railing. They position us on the other side of a little blue sloop, its sail flapping gently in the breeze. I don't even have a chance to ask what I'm supposed to do before the cameras are snapping like crazy. How many pictures are they taking? Enough to make an entire film. 100 a minute? The first 500 or so are just gonna be me looking like deer in the headlights. What am I supposed to do here? They haven't given me a guide on how to go about my day here. Fortunately, Gidget knows what to do. And here we are again. She grabs my arm, pulls me close, taps my opposite shoulder to get me spinning around. I blanch at first, then smile when I realize it's her. Laugh. She gives me a playful shove, gets me moving. points towards an especially oblong cloud in the sky to get me looking skyward. And all the while the cameras shoot, shoot, shoot. Hope nobody has something other than a camera to shoot. This is how it works, Ben, is it? I hope that one or two of these thousands of shots actually looks decent. Gidget laces her arm around mine, pulling me back in, and plants a kiss on my cheek. Obviously, there's the kiss on the cheek moment. I recoil instantly. Hot. My face feels hot. Almost like someone stunned me with a poker, and my stomach twists in discomfort. I grimace. Something Gidget doesn't miss. Oh? What's wrong? Her brows furrow. I shake my head. Nothing. Sorry, my stomach did something weird there for a second. Just not feeling super hot, I guess. Oh, go take a rest then. I'm almost done here. Then we can head back. Yeah. Right. I nod somewhat apologetically and scoot out of view with the cameras. Oh dear. The volcano is starting to brawl. Once clear, my stomach slowly normalizes and I take off my glasses to give my face a few good rubs. You alright there? Genzu sidles up next to me, face clouded with worry. Yeah, because in the last time round, didn't you go off and do something else? While you were saying something along the lines of, you're on your own there, champ, or something along those lines. I don't know, it's been so long. It wasn't another dream after all. You look like you're about to pass out. You're pale as a ghost, and I mean worse than usual. He presses the back of his hand to my cheek. Do not pull away, honestly. I'm fine, really. I shake my head, but don't pull away. Think everything's just starting to catch up with me. You want to sit down or something? Genzu swipes his gaze across our surroundings. Come on, there's a bench over there. Oh, sure. I certainly wouldn't mind sitting down. After all, we have been walking for a long time now. I just need a few minutes to collect myself. I follow Genzu towards the bench and sit down with a somewhat languid plop. Genzu follows suit beside me. I glance up just in time to see Gidget watching us. Her face is strangely dark. I quickly lower my gaze, focusing instead on my hands. Quite the setup they got there. Genzu muses as he watches the crew at work. I'm not really listening, though. I've got my eyes closed, just taking in the sound of the water, in time with my breath. It feels good to shut things out, if even for a moment. What do you mean, shut things out? You, Iggy, have had your eyes closed for a good while on that kiddie cruise. What do you mean, if even for a moment? You remember much of this place, Iggs? I sit back up, open my eyes. Genzu's leaning back to look at the houses behind us. Oh, the oh-so grueling houses which are behind us. Only kinda. Then, like, bits and pieces, I guess? We definitely went to that bakery more than once. He points towards a small, cozy-looking cottage just up the street we came. I remember the little old lady there gave me extra cookies. Said it helped me grow. Yeah, it didn't make you grow upwards. Unfortunately, cookies make you grow outwards. Well, now we know that was a lie. A laugh he keeps going, finger bobbing in the air as if pointing at something in his memory. Wait, remember? All of them got stuck on top of that well and was too scared to climb down. I see the wall he's pointing at, one separating a tree of houses from a miniature garden out back. Weren't you the one who dared him to climb up in the first place? That stupid lad. I still can't believe he did that. You know what, let's roll with it for a moment. I mean, yeah, that was pretty funny. But I'm not going to side with Genzu all the time. I have to admit that was pretty funny. I bite down my lip as a chuckle threatens to escape my throat. And those big eyes he had back then looked like a deer in the headlights. Right, spineless then, spineless now. What a wimp. Yeah, let's hear you say that later on in this tale. But even as I'm laughing, I can't can feel the guilt curling up like a soggy clump of yarn in my stomach. You're not a cat now. Why is that funny? I can't remember it now, becoming clearer the more I think about it. All him cowering atop the wall with his hands clutching at the rock and his knobby knees shaking, and all of us on the ground just laughing and calling out at him. I shake my head, return to reality just in time to see the crew packing up their things. Gidget comes bouncing over to us. I've lost my words there. Comes bounding over to us. Iggy, we're done. She grabs my arm and pulls me to my feet. I have not yet recovered from our adventures earlier. Come on, let's head back. They love me at the inn. They'll give us free drinks. Sure. Is all about I can manage to say as she loops her arm around mine and begins dragging me back up the road. By choice. Definitely by choice. I throw Genzu a look of helpless confusion as I stumble to keep up. Genzu, you better follow us, okay? I don't want an operation again, you know. And here we are at the bar. Drink up, boys! It's on the house. A busty woman in a flower print dress and a white apron slams 2 extra large beers down on the table in front of Genzu and me. Don't mind if I do. Genzu promptly grabs his and downs about half the glass. I don't touch my own. Somehow the thought of alcohol only serves to twist my stomach further. I place my hands tentatively around the base of the mug as though I'm planning on drinking and just haven't found the opportunity yet. The inn is bustling with patrons. Men playing cards, group of friends laughing and drinking. Even a table not far behind us filled with what I can only assume are fans of Gidget. They sit watching us, scribbling down notes at our every action, hoping to take in their lovely goddess the next time they see her. It's a cozy place, music sprinkling in through an old phonograph, warm candles beaming down from wooden chandeliers overhead. Stairs in the corner lead up to what I can only assume are overnight rooms you can book at the counter. And for goodness sakes, we're going to find a hotel that is somewhere that is so far away from here that not even Gidget can have her fans swarm the place. Sure didn't have anything like this when we were kids. Genzu laughs and wipes at his mouth. I glance around, taking in the ambiance. I mean, I guess we did always know this place changed. It always just kind of knew what you needed, even beyond the wishes, I mean. Genzu crosses his finger over his heart and lowers his head. Thank you for knowing what I need. He probably takes another swig. What I need right now is another sip of his fine old beer. I turn my attention back to Gidget. She's just watching the two of us, her face strangely blank. I wonder if every time we come back here, these faces, these events are going to go darker and darker. I try to bring her into the conversation. So, how long have you been here? Kind of seems like you've made yourself at home. This brings a strange little smile to her face, so even knocking the microphone. She curls a lock of hair around her finger. I'm not even sure at this point, haven't been keeping track, you know. Everyone loves me so much down here. Guess I get kind of lost in all of it sometimes. The curse of being popular, you know. If you say if it's a curse, then yeah, it can be a curse. I force a smile. Right. Dang, talk about night and day. Here, Iggy and I were treated like public enemies number 1 and 2 the moment we arrived. Genzu's eyes go wide. Gidget just shrugs. Oh, that'll happen, I suppose. Only enough room for one goddess down here. Probably saw you as anomalies to be eliminated. Excuse me? You're calling us, your friends, anomalies? How dare you? I'm joking, of course. My brow twitches. Of course. But now you're here, right where you'd meant to be. So you can just relax. The way her eyes go razor focus at this, staring straight through me, sends a chill up my spine and I have to turn my gaze away. Pretty sure Iggy's not meant to be here anywhere. Genzu grumbles, nursing his beer. He can make his own goddamn decisions. That's a boy, Genzu. Thank you for sticking with us. Is that so? Didn't seem like you were giving him much of a choice to make his own decisions earlier. What are you talking about? Practically throwing yourself at him back on the pier. It's disgusting, is what it is. Lead him away from everyone so you could have him all to yourself. Excuse me, Gidget? It sounds like here you are the problem child of the three here so far. I took the guy to a goddamn bench. Is that a crime? You tied him out with all of your goddamn Wonderland's next top model bullshit. All I could do is look back and forth between them with each new respiratory, my brows reaching for my hairline. Who knows what else you've already done to him? Probably turned him against me, got him all confused. Excuse me, I think we just got a little something called foresight. Genzu's face twists in disbelief. He raises his hands, glances around the room as though looking for some kind of fleeting explanation. Turn him against? What am I? The Pied Piper? Gidget leaps to her feet, slamming her hands down on the table. Don't you even know what I've had to go through? What I've had to do? The sacrifice I've had to make? Yeah, definitely, Lord Farquaad. What have you done, Gidget? You're nothing but a drunken loser who never went to college. Excuse me? What does not going to college have to do with anything? She gestures towards him with a fling of her wrist. I mean, just look what you've done to yourself. You can't even take care of yourself, let alone someone else. The color drains from Genzu's face. He simply sits there frozen. No, we're gonna stand up for our boy, Genzu. I have no idea what any of this is about, but just so you know, Genzu's done a whole goddamn lot. He started up his own business, for crying out loud. Genzu's glances at me for the briefest of moments, his lips pressed tight. As if that's hard. You did the same thing. Besides, his is just a... Excuse me, I think a lot of people care about their bikes being fixed. It seems like you, Gidget, need some fixing upstairs. That's not true. A lot of... It's okay, Iggy. Genzu winces, smiles, scratches at the back of his neck. I don't even know why we're arguing, to be honest. This is stupid. Gidget smiles, but it's not a friendly smile. Her eyes narrow into slits, and she brings a hand to her mouth with a tiny giggle. More like pointless, really, but yes, this is supposed to be a happy occasion, yes? You two join me down here, we should be celebrating. She slides back into her seat and crosses her legs with an over-embellished swoop. I don't miss the way the side of her foot brushed against my calf in the process. On the opposite end of the table, Genzu is staring down into his beer. He seems to have lost his early enthusiasm. Do not let Gidget's words intimidate you, Genzu. Stand your ground. Now, where were we? Oh right, your plans, of course. You are going to stay here with me, yes? You absolutely love it here. No. I sucked my lower lip up between my teeth. That's not really, we thought we'd look for... You absolutely must see the studio. I still can't believe what they were able to do with it in such a short amount of time. Absolutely breathtaking optics. Gidget, we're not. And then, of course, there's the housing situation. I'm sure we can work something out. You can always just stay with me, but I'm not sure what we'll do with... Gidget. Gidget just blanks, smiles, cocks her head. What is it, Iggy? I throw a glance against it for help, but for once in his life, he's silent, looking mildly as though someone's just... Yeah, I'm not going to say those words. I open my mouth, then wince and bring a hand to my forehead. There's a weird sort of panic building up in the base of my gut. This is all getting too much. The walls suddenly feel closer. A lot closer. and my mouth feels like it's been stuffed full of cotton balls. Beads of sweat are already starting to gather on the back of my neck. Are you alright? Gidget brows form two thin arcs. Then she leans forward, one hand sliding across the table to find my wrist. Get away from me, you poor thing. I know. Today must have been very confusing and overwhelming for you, but don't worry, everything will be fine now. No. Her fingers run up the skin of my arm. I'll take care of you now. That's... Why'd I get both of you rooms for the night? What about if we can just share a room together? I nod in spite of myself. I am tired. Exhausted even. And a bed sounds absolutely delightful right about now. Oh, perfect. Come then. She raised to her feet with a sickly sweet smile, the hand on my wrist moving to my upper arm to tug me up. Oh dear, as soon as I stand up with a wobble, she laces her arm in mine. I can feel her chest pushing up against my skin. Very inappropriate. Let's go get the keys from Mrs. Graham. She leads me over to the counter, Gensu following reluctantly behind. She seems positively giddy, giving my arm a little squeeze, then snaking her hand in mine, and entwining her fingers. Okay, this is getting a little too much. This is too intimate. I try to jerk it away, only for her fingers to clamp down so hard it's like my hand is in a vice. I bite down my lip until I can taste blood. 2 keys, please, Mrs. Graham. These 2 gentlemen would like to stay the night. Of course, dear. The woman behind the counter smiles and procures 2 sets of keys from the back wall, placing them in Gidget's outstretched hand. They can stay as long as they like. Yes, as long as Gidget would like us to stay. Then we headed upstairs, up and away from the sounds of a bar and into a quiet hallway lined with doors. I'm not gonna lie, I am a little nervous as to what's coming up next, but we are going to brace this adventure together. Gidget twists one of the keys into a door on the right and pops it open. Here you go, Gensu, this is your room. Oh? Gensu scratches at his neck. I mean, if you want to keep drinking, that's also fine, but at least now you have your room and keys. Iggy and I are going to retire, though. No, I'm going to retire. Is that so? Gensu's gaze go to me now, looking for confirmation. I mean, I am pretty tired. Yes, I am pretty tired. At this point, I just want to get inside my room, close the door, and go to sleep. And if that means playing along with Gidget until she gives me the keys, then so be it. I think we'll feel a lot better in the morning. Quite right. Both of you need your rest. Gidget just nods, and stares pointedly at Gensu. Right. Gensu just mumbles, but he starts towards the open door. I guess, good night, guys. Damn it, Gensu, we really need you right about now. He takes one last glance at us, then disappears inside the room. Gidget immediately begins tugging me further down the hall. What is Gidget's obsession with us? It's almost like one side of her has a horrific fascination for Iggy. Your room is this way, Iggy. Thank God I'm just about spent. I can only imagine. And here she unlocks the third door on the left, popping open the door and revealing a cozy room outfitted with a bed, wardrobe, desk, and an operating theatre. Something about the sight of it makes me instantly relax. Something about this sight makes me instantly perk up. Soon I'll be alone. I guess I'll see you tomorrow then. I tug myself away from her grip and step inside. Thanks for everything. This is really, nice. Gidget just smiles and walks in after me. I guess we're not really being alone, huh? Oh, I press my lips together. She shuts the door behind us. Pinpricks of sweat begin to fall across my forehead. I can feel my throat start to go dry. Gidget, I mean, I'm sorry if I gave you maybe some kind of wrong impression, but I just really wanted to sleep. It's okay, Iggy. You're confused, I know. She takes a step towards me. No, actually, I'm not. I do just want to sleep. No confusion there. I raise my arms in what I hope is a harmless gesture of comical misunderstanding. Gidget just shakes her head. There's a strange look of pity in her eyes. Oh, Iggy, you poor thing. But it's okay. You're with me now. Everything's going to be just fine. Yeah, turn that fine upside down and cover it with reddish brown. Everything's already fine. I shoot a glance towards the door. Something's not right. Yeah, you can say that again. Something's not right. Or at least it will be tomorrow after I've had a good night's sleep in this bed all by myself. I start sneaking in the direction of the door. Slowly. Carefully. I'll train you, Iggy. We'll build you from the ground up, then you won't have to be confused anymore. You know exactly what you want. No, I am not a lost soul or a lifeless husk that needs purpose. Oh dear. She brings her hands to her cheeks and smiles. That smile. That all-horrific smile. Actually, this is not one we've seen before. There's something wrong with it. Something that shakes me to the very core of my being. The tendrils of panic tickling my that word suddenly clamp around my heart and I can feel the air leave my lungs. I need to get out. I need to get out. I twist towards the door, grab the handle, wrench it open, but what greets on the other side isn't the empty hallway. What? Instead, one filled with eager smiles, hungry eyes, and reaching hands. The group of fans from the table downstairs. They're crowding the door. And the second the door is open, they come pouring inside. What the hell? I jump back, but they come too quickly and too many of them practically fighting over themselves to come at me. They grab my arms, legs, latch onto my thighs, topping me to the ground with a dull thud. And as much as I fight and kick and push and shove, I can't get them off, can't get out from under them. Oh, you're too kind, darlings. Gidget's smile stretches across her entire face now, and she bites down almost hungrily on her bottom lip. The best fans a goddess could ask for. She sighs in barely restrained delight. Rise him up for me, would you? I want to see his face. The arms clamp down on me, begin tugging, putting me up and away from the floor. This music sounds like it's kind of like a romantic rehearsal. I feel my arms get yanked back as a new pair of hands grabs my curls and twists my hand upwards. The only hand I want to feel touching mine is Genzu's, but not in a romantic way, but in a case of self-preservation. Beautiful. Another sigh. Gidget's face is flush pink, but perhaps too beautiful. Yes. That's why others want to take you for their own. We can't have that now, can we? You're mine and mine alone, Iggy. She giggles, then dances off towards the desk. When she returns, she's holding a pair of scissors. Gidget, please, we can... Nope, but another jerk on my head cuts my words short. Tears spring to my eyes as I grit down my teeth. Too beautiful. What can we do about that, Iggy? She practically sings. With a flash, she reaches forward and grabs a chunk of my hair, twisting it upwards painfully. Let's start here, shall we? Then she begins to cut. She slices the blade through chunks of my hair in great greedy handfuls, laughing and squealing as the severed curls fall to the floor. My head is wrenched left, then right, her fingers tugging and pulling as the scissors snip and snap and send more and more errant pieces flying. She suddenly stops, grabs my cheeks. No, like if you're gonna cut something, just cut my hair, okay, if that's your obsession, but for goodness sakes, do not go into that kind of territory where skin is starting to fly off. Beautiful. Stares into my eyes, face practically radiating heat. Beautiful. then smashes her mouth against mine in a bruising kiss. In that second, I can't breathe, can't see, can't even think. She moans, sucking my lips, my gums. No, this is not French kiss territory. Then as quickly as she started, she pulls away, breath hot. Too beautiful. Oh gosh, she really is a yandere. She rears her hand back and backhands me across the face. The impact sends my head reeling and stars dancing across my eyes. Her hands go back to my cheeks and the red and bump forming across the skin. A beautiful red color. She slaps me again, harder, laughing and squealing. My face is burning, throbbing. More color. Uh-oh. She grabs my cheeks, clawing at them, digging her nails into the skin and pinching, clamping the skin between her fingers. Then her thumbs. Oh my god, the eyes. Oh my god, even looking at this is painful. Her thumbs go to my eyes. Oh no! My head snaps backwards. Goodness sake, it hurts. Deep into the sockets, digging straight into my brain. It hurts. I open my mouth with a noiseless scream as every nerve across my face, my scalp sends electric shock straight to my brain. I can feel my eyes popping, bright white light flashing, blinding. Suddenly there's a knock on the door. Gidget's grip loosens instantly and my hand slumps downward. I can't see anything at first. Everything is black. Everything is red. Then slowly the light returns, blurry and warped and red, filled with red. Hot liquid seeps up from the corner of my eyes to glide down my stinging cheeks. Hey, Iggy, just want to check if you're doing okay. Genzu, you are far too late, my man. Have you seen what she's done to me? It's Genzu. My muscles snap into motion on instinct, head rising and lips parting. But Gidget's arm slams against my face before I can get a sound out. Her palm finds my mouth and she wrenches my head towards her body. God damn it. Everything's fine, Gidget. Iggy's already asleep. He was so exhausted after our activity. I blink against with tears of blood pouring in my eyes, struggling to breathe. Oh, Genzu's voice sounds so small. Okay, I'll see you, both of you, in the morning then. Yeah, exactly. Trying to shout for help. That's going to be very, very good. He's leaving. He's leaving! I've got to do something, and I've got to do it now. Otherwise, I don't give myself a chance to complete that thought. Instead, releasing what little strength I have left in one concentrated burst and twisting against Gidget's grip. The sudden movement must throw her off guard, because in the next second I feel the cool air of freedom on my lips. Genzu! I bout out, Genzu! And I'm jerked backwards before I have a chance to finish. Gidget's fingers clamp so tightly around my jaw, I swear her nails are liable to pierce clean through my cheeks. It's silent for a moment. Then, was that Iggy? Yes, I clenched my eyes shut, wanting him to stay, wanting him to try to press further. Gidget just laughs, clearly doing her best to stay cheery. Oh, the poor dear, having a nightmare is all. Must be reliving one of your horrifying encounters. She wrenches my head back with a painful twist for emphasis. Okay. Then, come on, Genzu, you're not this deep. You're usually a very, very positive man. Make sure he gets plenty of sleep, yeah? He looks exhausted. Oh, of course I will. I'll take good care of him. A pause. Okay, good night then. Gidget doesn't bother responding this time. I see her listening for him to walk away before she finally releases her grip. I choke, cough, stretch my jaw. Before I even have a chance to fully recover, she backhands me across the face. You little blank! Her pupils have shrunk to the size of pinpricks and her sockets, her eyes clouded with rage. She grabs my hair with an agonizing twist, jerking my head backwards. But even as she glares down at me, her face is already softening. She sighs, her lips curling into a smile. It's okay, you don't know any better. But that's what I'm here for, to teach you. She moves back and gestures towards the floor. Her fans respond by pushing me down onto my back. I don't have the energy for more than a half-hearted squirm as they hold my arms and legs down against the polished wood. Damn. Gidget crawls on top of me, scissors in her hands as she straddles my wrist. I feel myself start to shake as she leans forward, chest flush with my own. Sweet little Iggy. It's just too tempting, isn't it? Being naughty. She runs a hand through my hair, then glides it down the side of my face before gripping my jaw. She squeezes it, sending my lips out in a comical pout. Shh, I know. I'll make it easier for you. Then you'll never be tempted again. Her face monopolizes my vision, a smile searing itself into my brain. She squeezes harder, popping my jaw forward with a snap. Then quickly reaches inside with her other hand, pinching my tongue between her fingers and yanking out past my... Oh my god. Oh gosh. I see what's going to happen here, and it's going to be bloody. I try to scream. My lost energy comes back in a flash of adrenaline, and I'm struggling, squirming, pushing against her. But the fans hold my arms and legs down tight, and my vision quickly blurs with tears of frustration. Don't worry, this will only take a second. She sighs almost lovingly, face flushed, then brings the scissors up and snaps the blades down around my tongue. Yep, I knew that was going to happen. A surgery. It separates with a revolting squelch. The pain is immediate. My back arcs as a strangled cry wrenches itself out of my throat. But my tongue, I can't breathe. Can't even think. It's gone. Gone. Blood fills my mouth, bubbling over and past my lips, choking and hot. I cough and send giant clots down my chin and across Gidget's face. But this only delights her further, because our pain is her pleasure. She holds the fleshy pink triangle up with a giggle, giving it a playful flick. There, see? Now we won't have any more incidences, But I'm past even understanding what she's saying at this point. I gurgle, retch, a low groan shudders in my lungs and through my throat. Another cough. The blood is everywhere now, coating my cheeks in dark, thick clumps and running down my chin and neck. My groan builds, low and guttural, and punctuated by hacking splutters. This makes Gidget's smile fall. Her eyes flash and she jerks forward to grab my soggy collar. Shut up, it doesn't hurt that bad. Well, why don't you be in my position then, you know? You wretched, mind-warped individual. But I don't shut up. I can't shut up. My whole head feels like it's been zapped with 1,000 volts and again. The bloody slump of my tongue continues to pump out blood with painful pounding pulses that echo in my brain. Shut up, shut up, shut up. You're supposed to be quiet now. Yeah, just because you cut off our tongue does not mean that we can't splutter out sound, you know. It just means that we can't speak in a humanish language. She slams my back into the floor, but all it does is expel more gooey clots from my mouth. My moan continues, morphing to a hoarse wail. She looks panicked now. She sits up, looks towards the door, looks at me, looks at the scissors, Then with a throaty cry, obviously, slams the scissors straight into my temple. My body goes as stiff as a rod, and the moan stops. I don't feel it. I don't feel anything. Just pressure. Enormous pressure on the side of my head. The tears return, filling up my sockets as my vision wobbles into indecipherable blobs. I'm sorry, Iggy. What do you mean you're sorry? You did all of this, and now somehow you're apologizing. I can't make out Gidget's face anymore. Only a dark shadow looming closer. Closer. But you just wouldn't be quiet. She tugs the blades back out with a pulpy pop. My brain's gonna spit out on the floor. But it's not something I'll have to worry about for long. Already, the world is starting to turn dark. I can't even cough anymore. The blood from my tongue oozes down the back of my throat, pouring in my lungs. At least you can be with me forever, Gidget's voice coos from somewhere in the darkness. I'll take good care of you, Iggy. I feel a hand on the side of my head. One of her fingers begins wiggling its way inside the whelping. Oh, that's when my eyes finally roll back, and everything goes dark. Yeah, that's a game over, to say the least. I'm speechless. Unfortunately, you were skull searched. That's one way of putting it. But they have always said trepanning is good for the brain. No. Would you like to restart from before your most recent choice or return to the main menu? I'll go to the last choice, but for goodness sakes, that was dark. I guess we're going to have to stay quiet instead if we're going to live. The feeling of impending dread is too strong. But maybe Genzo will think that there is something wrong if we stay silent. So, as hard as it is, I stay quiet, instead clenching my eyes shut in futile despair and hoping to someone somewhere that this is the right choice, if there even is a right choice anymore. Gidget runs a hand through my choppy, jagged hair again and again. There, he's gone now, don't you worry. He wants to take you for himself, you see, but you're safe here, safe with me. She laughs, a delighted thrill that thrums against my face. Besides, look at you now. She pushes my head back, looking down at me, her eyes sunken and wide. Yeah, that's what you call a forced smile. Then presses her thumbs against my bruised cheeks, pulling back the skin, forcing my lips into a stretched smile. Yeah, that's what you call a forced smile. Blood from my eyes oozing across her fingers. No one would like you now, ugly little Iggy. Except for me, that is. Now I'm the only one there for you. The only one who'd even care for you. You'll be mine forever. My own little Iggy. She dips her head forward and traces her tongue up the side of my nose, all the way to my forehead, smearing blood all up along the path. Gidget? I finally managed to eke out, my voice hushed and strained. Hush now, she coos, then traces her tongue downward, past my lips and chin, down the side of my neck. Damn. I feel her slide up and onto my lap, strutting my hips. What do you want from me? Blood decorates her lips, her chin. Aren't you a man? This is what you're supposed to want. Not every man desires love, you know. She tugs at my collar, giggling against my skin, then lets her fingers start to trace down my chest. Or perhaps it's just that you haven't been with me yet. Down, down, down. My stomach recoils at a touch, sending the fabric of my shirt fluttering. Is that it, Iggy? Have you been saving yourself for me? Is this what I'm supposed to want? No! Get yourself out of the game. This is what she wants you to think. My breath hitches, and I feel my throat constrict with a painful twist. You're so sweet, Iggy. Do you think you'd do something like that for me? Now her fingers are on the fly of my pants. Get your hands away from my lower quarters. Tugging. She leans in close, whispering right next to my ear. I've been saving myself for you too. Gidget. No. Oop. A sudden crack snaps my brain back to attention. From the window, the glass is cracking? But I have to ponder over the absurdity of it long, because in the next second, ooh, the entire pane of glass comes buckling forward, and a figure comes barreling through to fall with a jounce onto the bed. Not the best idea I've ever had. Well, it's goddamn effective, because now our stupor has been stupefied. Genzu whips at the shards of glass littering his arms and legs, only to freeze when he sees what's happening in the middle of the room. What the... And obviously the face from before. Gidget spins around, blood dribbling down her lips and face twisted. He's mine. She stumbles to her feet. You can't have him. Oh gosh. She is so distorted she doesn't even have a bottom lip. Like, just look at her face right now. She doesn't even have a bottom lip. Ben lurches towards him. Genzu looks left, then right, frantically searching. He yanks his cap off his head and uses it like an oven mitt to grab one of the largest shards of glass atop the bed, wielding it like a dagger. Yeah, that's a good idea. Gidget curls up onto the bed, growling and snarling and reaching towards him. He responds with a slash that slices her arms and hands, blood splattering against the wall. But this doesn't seem to hinder her, for she has no feelings. She launched herself straight at him, on top of him, slamming her fist into his chest and clawing at his face. I can't tell his what. Well, you better well help him, you know. He's the one who's trying to save you. All I see is a mess of flying arms and legs. The bed bounces, creaks, skin slapping on skin. I'm glad this has context behind us here. Frightened yelps and growls. Finally, Genzo lets out a yell and rolls over, taking her with him, spinning until they both fall to the floor with a thud. This is much more action-packed than last time. Then when we saw Gidget just suddenly, lifeless on the window. Gidget suffers the brunt of it, her head cracking against the floorboards. And then... Ooh. And Genzo takes this opportunity to grab her, yanks her to her feet, and positions the shard of glass just beneath her throat. Look, none of us wants this, you know. He turns to me, to us, to the rabid group of fans I can hear hissing in fear at the sight of their idol in danger. Let him go. Genzo's voice is strangely calm. He presses the tip of the glass shard into Gidget's neck. Let him go, or I'll kill her. There's a moment of hesitation, of uncertainty. Then I feel a bruising oh yeah, of course we can't do anything because of the simps. And legs begin to loosen, to fall away. I slump to the ground with a cough. Now step back. Another jab of the glass. When they don't move, he takes a step forward, wrenching Gidget tighter in his grip. I said step back. The fans finally do as he says, hissing as they retreat to the far wall, almost like cornered snakes. Gidget laughs, a low throaty chuckle. Aren't you sweet, the gallant saviour? But we both want the same, but... He shakes her so hard her head snaps back with a jolt. Are you done? This is met with another giggle. Then, Iggs, can you walk? I stumble to my feet, head spinning. My vision is still blurry, but I nod my head all the same, limping towards him. Genzu must get a good look at me for the first time because his eyes grow wide with concern. Ugh. Oh, Iggy, sweet little Iggy. You don't want to leave me, do you, Iggy? Gidget coos. Yes, we do. We've always wanted to leave you. Genzu ignores her and nods his head in the direction of the door. I take the hint. You know, Gidget, this has been great and all, but I think we're going to have to take a rain check, Genzu says. Oh, then shoves her head towards the bed and takes off. Go, 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 go. The two of us go streaking out the door and back into the hallway, even as Gidget's laughter pierces the silence behind us. I'm coming for you, Iggy. Just you wait, you will be mine. We was yours, not out of choice. We make it to the stairs, stumble down to the first floor. The music is still playing, the patrons are still imbibing. They look up as we race and shove and push our way through. Just when we make it to the door, Gidget appears at the top of the steps, pointing down at us and flanked by our groupies. Get them, you idiots! That's an order from your queen! Yes. Run. We practically fly outside, out into the night air, the sound of mugs slamming and chairs scooting right behind us, because nobody here has a free will. To the pier, come on! Genzu yelps and beckons me off to the right. I go careening after him, staggering and lurching, one hand to my head to keep the world from spinning. Around the next corner, my legs twist over themselves, give out, and send me face first into the brick. God damn it! Genzu rounds back, yanking up on my shirt, tugging at my arms. He must do some mental calculations at that point as he looks at me, looks behind us. Because in the next moment, he's got my thighs and has me scooped up and over his shoulder, huffing and puffing and dashing towards the street, towards the pier as I hold on for dear life. It's a good thing you're light as a stick, he grasps out between breaths. We don't have too far to go, just down the winding road, but already I can hear footsteps behind us. Lots of footsteps, and shouts too. I don't dare look up, instead keeping my eyes clenched shut and my fingers clamped in the fabric of Genzu's jacket. Once I hear the gentle slap of water, I know we've reached the pier. Genzu stops momentarily, turning first right, then left. He starts forward again, towards the edge, towards the water. Yeah, we've got to take one of those boats, man. You're gonna have to jump for me, Iggs. My heart skips a beat, but I brace myself all the same. And in the next instant, Genzu drops me to the ground. I look forward just in time to see the little blue sloop from earlier. Genzu already at work on the rope, keeping it tied to the dock. I should have just jumped in, no questions asked. But in that one overly curious moment, I glanced behind us and instantly do not look back. This is a horror movie. Do never look, or a horror game. The whole town is racing down the road after us, almost like we're the last survivors of the town, and the sounds of zombies are after us. Their feet slam against the brick, arms raised, shouts and yells and whoops and hollers ripped from their throats. It's like the entire army of the apocalypse is bearing down on us, ready to rend us limb from limb. Get in! I hear Genzu's voice, but it doesn't register. He's got the rope untied, but I can't seem to move. All I can do is stare at that teeming, reefing mob barreling down towards us. Good God, God damn it! That's the last thing I hear. Before Genzu football tackles me square across the middle, both of us flying off the edge of the pier and landing hard at the bottom of the boat. My head rings, vision swaying, air knocked from my lungs and hovering somewhere up above my grasping lips. Ugh! I hear Genzu groan. He's got his head clenched in his hands and is curled into a ball next to me. But we're moving. moving away from the pier, away from a throng of angry townspeople. As my gaze clears, I can see them stand on the edge and shouting at us, shaking their fists as we float, float away. Genzu pushes himself to his feet and raises his own fist in return. Yeah, good riddance, a-holes. I, however, stay down. The panic has finally begun to recede, but it leaves a hole in its place. A strange hole that leaves me somehow hollow, empty, feeling nothing and everything all at once. I raise my hand. It's shaking. Why is it shaking? Then the tears come, blurring my eyes, hot and stinging as they pull beneath my eyelids, which were once ridiculed by Gidget, and wind rivers down my cheeks. Genzu rubs his face, repositions his cap, before returning his attention to me. He immediately blanches. Goodness sakes, Iggy's! He starts as he kneels down beside me, voice catching. What did she do to you? I can only look at him. Look at him as though I don't even know who he is. My chest so tight I can't breathe. Damn. That was something. I was so bewildered by all that, I couldn't even make out any funny whistle on that. Like, there was just no room for that. Genzu cleans me up as well as he can, using water from the lake to wipe out the blood on my cheeks and dab at my eyes. I can't even imagine what I must look like. And my vision still seems off. Everything has a sort of hazy outline to it, and it's hard to focus. Then we try to sleep. There's nothing else to do. Nothing but float. Float and wait. I close my eyes against the darkness, against the chill of the night air. But every time I do, I can see her face. I can see those eyes devouring me and feel those thumbs digging into my brain. Unfortunately, that is a very effective means of coercing people into doing what they want you to do for them. You'll be mine forever, my own little Iggy. I grasp, open my eyes, looking up into the sky and the sea of stars. My body shivers. I push myself up to a seat, leaning forward on my knees. A chill sweeps up my arms and down my back. I can see Genzo curled up on the other side of the boat. He's got his arms crossed in front of him and is using his cap as a pillow, snoring softly. I move before I have a chance to think about it, clawing over, my fingers trembling against the cold plastic of the boat beneath them. Genzo, I whisper, my voice shadowed up by the blackness. It leaves a hollow lump in the base of my throat, and I suddenly feel incredibly exposed. Genzo shifts, squinting up at me. He starts to get up, a look of worry crossing his face. I don't say anything. I throw one last glance back at the spot I'd vacated moments earlier. Damn. Then lie down next to him in silence, my forehead just barely touching his shoulder. This is probably one of the darkest games I've ever played. But at the same time, it really gets to your feelings, man. Like, feeling such emotion for fictional characters. It shows how well written these characters are. And, well, there's two people here. One in incredible emotional and physical instability right now. And another person being by them, who saved his life from a certain untimely demise, looking out for him. What a true friend Genzo is. I feel Genzo tense next to me. Is this okay? I ask softly, hesitantly. He swallows hard. Of course. As long as it's okay with you. Damn. I let out a shuddered breath and close my eyes. Genzo finally seems to relax next to me. He lies back down, shifts again. When I creak one eye open to check. He seems to be struggling with where to put his hand. It hovers in the air momentarily, then rests on the ground between us. Finally, he curls up into the crook of his elbow, lacing his arms across his chest. My eyes flutters closed again, and this time, I don't see her. We float across the water the rest of the night. And when I finally creak my bleary eyes open again, it's morning. The sun is well overhead, and we're surrounded by nothing but blue as far as the eye can see. And for once, or the only time really, seeing nothing but blue is very good. It means there's no danger at all when it comes to people or rabid zombies. But at the same time, it does fill us with the emotion of emptiness and an overwhelming sense of dread, as the only thing we can see is water, the bringer of life, but also a cause of demise. Genzo is already up, examining the pile of square boards at the bottom of the boat. He looks tired, but smiles all the same when he sees me awake. We take turns rowing using the boards. I'm unsure if it does anything, but at least feels more productive than sitting there twiddling our thumbs. We don't speak about what happened. That would make it too real. Instead, we sit mostly in silence, rowing, resting, watching the sun rise overhead, then begin its slow descent back down. And here comes sunset. The sky's just started to turn a soft shade of pink when Genzo makes a noise. He points in the direction we're floating. Spires. On the horizon. Land. I smile in spite of myself. Thank goodness. We're both set to rowing the boat, anxious to be back on solid ground despite the fear of what might await us. Well, anything is better than the chaos we were just in. Nothing could top what just happened at this point. Right? Right. Well, at least for us, there probably won't be anything along the lines of chaos. Or not in the immediate future. But for Genzo, I feel like there's going to be something really dark awaiting for us. Something even darker than being poured into boiling hot cauldrons. But I'm going to leave it there for this point in time. I have a lot to say. But at the same time, I really don't have a lot to say at all. I'm feeling like a spiral at the moment. Very confused, but also there's a lot of finality towards what's just happened here. And the situation that we were poured in at that point in time, it was a lot darker than the first time around, even though the first time around was really dark. I'm not gonna lie, we almost lost our, well, you know what I mean there, at that time around. But that other time, it felt like we were being tortured, not just on the outside, but on the inside as well. A friend of ours just plucking away at our sanity, and it was just so heart-wrenching to watch there. Like I had no other things to contribute towards that sentence other than look at what's going on and observe what's happening. Like, that's what visual novels are. It's a story, and you are able as the player to make out what's going on depending on how you look at the situation, how you read the words, and then form your own conclusions from there. Like with Gidget, she has, in the darkest realms of her mind, an incredibly heinous and warped fantastical obsession with Iggy. Is it because of the fact that she has a crush on him, or is it because that she felt betrayed by Iggy at some point during her life? One of the flashbacks early on in the game depicted that girls can't go on a coding/programming path in their life because Iggy said that is a boy's thing, which obviously is not true in the real world. We are living in a world where there is more equality than there ever was before, thanks to protests and rights going about left, right and centre. women have had more rights than ever before, equal to men, and that is how it should be. You should be determined by your abilities and not by a self-defined status, a self-defined role because society has built you atop that kind of hierarchy structure where you are one thing, and if you're not that one thing, then you are below that one thing. Now, this is rather unrelated towards the game in question, but in a weird sense it can be very similar because the definition of normal is different for all of us. Like if you grow up in a war-torn zone for all of your life, then the only thing you know about is war. And every day is a blessing when you wake up because it's another day where you haven't been annihilated from the face of the planet. It's an incredibly warped and dark way of looking at it. But if that is your version of normal, which it should not be, then what is unnormal about a life in which you have not yet lived because you haven't lived that life? So for all these 5 characters, there's definitely a sense of darkness that is spewed out within this reality. Like with Iggy and Genzu, we're always with those two, and there could be moments within the game so far in which they have shown their most darkest thoughts, but they have been mainly flashbacks. Iggy, it's been with Gidget, and with Genzu, it's been about all of them. And that's why there's a common theme here where Gidget has an obsession with Iggy, because of personal vendettas from the past, but also a warped fascination. But at the same time, with this castle scene here going on, I feel like there's going to be another theme that's going to be even darker. But then for me, I wonder how much darker this game is going to get. Like, there are content warnings in which we've not yet even encountered. So I wonder what's going to go on in the next time of Our Wonderland. So, apologies for the long outro there, and apologies if a lot of it seemed kind of negative in a way, but I really wanted to deploy my thoughts out here and now to kind of just paint a small picture as to what's going on in my head when it comes to a scenario like this. It's called Our Wonderland, but there's a certain level of wonderment in that wonderland. So it might sound something positive, but it's actually a mixture of light and dark, good and evil, yin and yang, etc. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you to the developer for making this game. This, so far, has been an absolute blast, and I'm looking forward to seeing more in the near future. Thank you so much for watching, and see you all in the next time of Our Wonderland. Thank you so much for watching, and take care of yourselves.